Hey, welcome back. This is Genesis chapter 4, Cain and Abel. Got a little whiteboard behind me for some further explanation. But here we go, Cain and Abel. Now, Adam means man, had sexual relations with his wife. Wife means woman, Eve. And she became pregnant. When she gave birth to Cain, she said, "With the Lord's help, I have produced a man." Later, she gave birth to his brother and named him Abel. When they grew up, Abel became a shepherd, while Cain cultivated the ground. When it was time for the harvest, Cain presented some of his crops as a gift to the Lord. Abel also brought a gift, the best portions of his firstborn lambs from his flock. The Lord accepted Abel and his gifts, but the Lord did not accept Cain's gift. This made Cain very angry, and he looked dejected. "Why are you so angry?" the Lord asked Cain. "Why do you look so dejected? You will be accepted if you do what is right. But if you refuse to do what is right, then watch out. Sin is crouching at the door, eager to control you, but you must subdue it to be its master." So what do we have here? Cain and Abel giving gifts to the Lord. They both have their different professions, if you will. Abel raises animals, goats, sheep, flock, herds. He's a herdsman. Cain plants vegetation. He raises crops. Which is harder? You put a seed in the ground, God waters it, you got to make sure the bugs are off of it and the weeds are gone. Flocks, you got to take care of them. You got to make sure they're fed, they're watered daily. You got to go out, you got to walk them, you got to keep the beasts, the animals, the creatures away from them. Cain takes some of his crops. He's like, "Hey, yeah, I got some for you." Abel looks at all his flock and takes the best. What's the crazy thing about taking the best? Is that when you go to breed them, you're already losing some. You're losing some of the best because you've given the best to God. God says, "But if you refuse to do what is right, then watch out." He didn't say, "Hey, if you could reconsider, maybe help me out a little bit, give me a little bit better of your crops, Cain." No, he said, if you refuse to do what is right. He didn't say, do what is right sometimes, whenever you feel it's appropriate. Because otherwise it's sin, right? Sin is at your door waiting for you. What is sin? That is very important information. Most of us, at least people I know, don't know what sin is. People say sin is breaking the 10 Commandments. Nonsense. Sin is a word and it means something. It holds relevance, if that's a word. Listen, I learned the definition of sin in Spanish class. Yep, still don't speak Spanish. I learned the definition of sin in Spanish class through my professor told us about ropa. Ropa, R-O-P-E, means clothing. Sin means without. Sin, ropa, means without clothes. Without clothing, you're naked. You have nothing. Sin is to be without. The word sin is not an English word. The word sin is a Latin word. It's an ancient word. It's one of the original and the first languages. And it means without. Without what? God. When you are sinning, you are without God. And that's dangerous because when you don't have God, you're open and susceptible to evil, to darkness, to the negatives of life, to only giving a little bit to the greatest one there is. One day, Cain suggested to his brother, Let's go out into the fields. And while they were in the field, Cain attacked his brother Abel and killed him. We all know that story. Jealousy. Afterward, the Lord asked Cain, "Where's your brother? Where is Abel?" "I don't know," Cain responded. "Am I my brother's guardian?" "Have you lost your mind to talk to me like that?" This is the son talking to the father. He said, "Where's your brother?" God already knows where he is. He wants to see what Cain is going to say. He wants to see what Cain's response is going to be. Cain says, "I don't know." Cain has no faith in God already. Cain has no faith in God's power. Cain doesn't care. Kind of like what are you going to do to me? But the Lord said, "What have you done? Listen, your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. Now you are cursed and banished from the ground, which has swallowed your brother's blood. No longer will the ground yield good crops for you. No matter how hard you work, from now on you will be a homeless wanderer on the earth." Had Cain only come forward and said, "This is what I did. I lost control. I'm broken. I'm sorry. I need help." But no, he didn't. He was like, "I don't know. What am I, his keeper?" God says, I can hear his blood in the ground. This doesn't just apply to Cain and Abel. Anyone we hurt, God can hear their pain, can hear their sorrows, can hear their cries. God knows what we've done. Now is not the time to deny what we have done. Now is the time to admit it, seek forgiveness, ask for help. And so God says what? Be gone. Not only be gone and get out of my place, but the rest of your life is going to be treacherous. It's going to be miserable and painful because you're lying to me, because you're not trustworthy, you're not honest. You're following the path of darkness rather than coming to the light. You think you got it all and you know it all because of what I've given you. None of this is yours. The crop wouldn't be yours. I water the crops. That's my water. That's my sunlight that's growing them. All you did was put a seed in the ground, and now you think you're a hero? This is how I read the Bible. With frustration and anger. Because now I understand. Cain replied to the Lord, "My punishment is too great for me to bear. You have banished me from the land and from your presence. You have made me a homeless wanderer. Anyone who finds me will kill me." Hold on. Where's the tough guy that just killed my other son? Now I put you out and now it's a problem? Now the punishment's too great? Go out there and think about what you did. The Lord replied, "No, for I will give a sevenfold punishment." That just means, we'll get to that. "No, for I will give a sevenfold punishment to anyone who kills you." Then the Lord put a mark on Cain to warn anyone who might try to kill him. So Cain left the Lord's presence and settled in the land of Nod. Very important information there. He settled in the land of Nod, east of Eden. I don't know. What's worse, death or eternal suffering? He says, go out there, nobody will kill you. They'll beat you up, they'll rob you, they'll destroy you, they'll hurt your family, they'll do everything. But I won't let them kill you. I'd rather they kill me. The descendants of Cain. So this gets into what I'll call, I guess, the side dishes of the meat and potatoes. This is relevant information for what is to become that we'll later hear about in the land of Nod. What does Cain do in the land of Nod? What does Cain become? I'll tell you right now, Cain becomes a pagan, worshiping false gods. Cain had sexual relations with his wife, and she became pregnant. We don't know how long it's been. It could have been 500 years because that's how long we're living right now. Look at Noah, like 920 years. Don't think of this Bible as, oh, he's about 40 years old. He just got married. He's about 50. No, he could be like 600 years old. We don't know. If we had all the details, we'd lose our mind. Cain had sexual relations with his wife, and she became pregnant and gave birth to, hello, Enoch. What? We hear a lot about Enoch these days in the Dead Sea Scrolls. Then Cain founded a city, which he named Enoch, after his son. Enoch had a son named Irad. Irad became the father of Mehulah. Mehulah became the father of Methuselah. Methuselah became the father of Lamech. I mean, it's all good information, but the real important stuff was prior, if you ask me. Lamech married two women, the first named Ara and the second Zillah. Ara gave birth to Jabal, who was the first of those who raised livestock in the tents. So now we're living in tents. So that's good information, right? Now we're out of caves. We're no longer cavemen, desert dwellers. Now we're in tents. We have shelter of some sort. His brother's name was Jubal. Jubal was the first who played the harp and the flute. All right, remember, just like gold and onyx from a couple chapters ago, now we're talking about a man who can play the harp and flute. We had to find the metal and learn how to bend it, right? They had to learn to do something. There's a great period of time that passes here. This isn't like, oh, it's been 7 years. Lamech's older wife, Zillah, gave birth to a son named Tubal-Cain. He became an expert in forging tools of bronze and iron. This is huge information. How did you find bronze? How did you find iron? How did you learn what to do with them? Tubal-Cain had a sister named Naamah. One day, Lamech said to his wives, Ada and Zillah, hear my voice. Listen to me, you wives of Lamech, you women of Lamech. We're not talking still about a Catholic wedding, bride, groom, 12 on each side, supporting with a great wedding reception and a trip to Mexico afterwards. I have killed a man who attacked me, a young man who wounded me. If someone who kills Cain is punished 7 times, then the one who kills me will be punished 77 times. This is Lamech. Lamech's prophesying this. If you kill Cain, you're going to get hurt 7 times worse. But if you kill me, it's the end of story. The birth of Seth. Adam, back to Adam, had sexual relations with his wife again, his woman, Eve. And she gave birth to another son, Cain, Abel, and now we have the third one coming. Abel's dead. Cain's on the run. She named him Seth. For she said, God has granted me another son in place of Abel, who Cain killed. When Seth grew up, he had a son and named him Enosh. At that time, people first began to worship the Lord by name. At that time, people first began to worship the Lord by name. What's his name? What are you calling him? The descendants of Adam. I'm not going to get into all the descendants of Adam because there's a lot of them. But listen, Adam lived 930 years. When Adam was 130 years old, he became another father. When Seth was 105, Enosh 905. When Lamech was 182 years old, he became the father of a son. Lamech named his son Noah, for he said, may he bring us relief. That's what I say about my son. May this kid bring me relief someday. From our work and painful labor of farming this ground the Lord has cursed. After the birth of... From our work, may he bring us relief from our work and pain from farming this ground the Lord has cursed. After the birth of Noah, Lamech lived another 595 years and had other sons and daughters. Lamech lived 777 years. After Noah was 500 years old, he became the father of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. I ain't trying to have no babies this old. That's crazy, right? To us. Noah has Shem, Ham, and Japheth. He has many others, but these are the ones that are important that are going to come up that have created who we have become. That is it for chapter 5. I thought that was chapter 4. Did I just keep going? I did. So that's 4 and 5. My apologies. Think about it. Think about it. Sin without God. I don't care what your sin is, from cursing to marital abuse or cheating on your spouse or murder or homosexuality or alcoholism or any form of abuse or disobeying the parents. These things are embedded within the 10 Commandments. But listen, if you are engaged in these acts, it's sin. So you might say, well, I'm just going to the bar tonight, but tomorrow I'll go to church. Well, all that night, you were in sin. And while you were in sin, you were without God. God wasn't in the bar hanging out, you getting drunk and looking at women or men or whatever it is that you're doing. You are in sin without God. If you have no God, you have no protection. If you have no protection, this is the devil's playground. This is the devil's playground. God sent Lucifer here to rule with thousands, 1/3 of the angels in heaven, millions, I don't know, of demons, dark angels. So while you are in sin hanging out, you have no protection. You're out there on your own. The only thing that comes from being out there on your own with no protection is being sent away, cast into the wilderness, where you will live in pain and suffering for the rest of your life. Like God told Cain, you killed him, you killed your brother, you lied to me twice. Be gone. Now you get to see what sin is really like, because you're out there solo. That's scary if you ask me. I never took Christianity serious. I never took Catholicism serious. As a young man, I did whatever I wanted for the first 40 years of my life. It's all about me. I go to church once in a while. I say the name of Jesus once in a while. Always unprotected. And when you're unprotected, bad things come to you. Will they kill you? Nope. Will they make your life miserable? Absolutely. I'd rather have a plentiful and bountiful life of love than to have a life of sin. All right, just food for thought. Peace.